Welcome to Part 3 of the Club Sports Officers Training. I'm Ryan Bradshaw, Assistant Director of Club Sports here at Mason. In this section, we'll be covering risk management. One of the most important documents for protecting club officers, coaches, and administrators, as well as George Mason University, is the waiver. Any individual participating in club activities must fully complete and sign a waiver, release, and indemnity agreement before participating in any club activities. This form must be completed online when registering on IM Leagues. Sometimes for tryouts, it is unfeasible to have every individual trying out for the club complete the form on IM Leagues. For tryouts and orientation events only, it is acceptable for the club leaders to print copies of the waiver and to have the new individuals complete and sign the forms before the individuals take part in any activity. The completed forms should be turned into the club sports office. These new members must still complete the waiver on IM Leagues once they fully join the team. All members, new and old, must also complete the 7 other required forms located on IM Leagues. These forms must be completed as soon as possible and before any activities take place. Each club must have a minimum of 2 safety officers on their rosters at all times, one of whom must be present at every club activity. The role of the safety officer is to provide first aid to an injured club member and to activate the emergency response plan. In order to be a safety officer, the club member must be currently certified in American Red Cross Standard First Aid, CPR, and AED. This certification must be redone every 2 years. They must also have completed Mason Recreation's Club Sports Emergency Action Plan and Risk Management Training. This needs to be also completed every 2 years. They must also have completed Mason's Bloodborne Pathogen Training at least once in their university career, and they must be willing to use their skills to assist any club member in need of assistance. Mason Recreation will provide complimentary American Red Cross Standard First Aid, CPR, and AED certification to a maximum of 4 club members per club per year. To register for a course, contact the club sports office to receive your complimentary registration card. Take the complimentary registration card to the front desk of the RAC in order to register for your certification course. Certification course times can be found by going to the Recreation website, recreation.gmu.edu, clicking the Aquatics tab at the top of the page, then going to Certification Courses, CPR, AED, and First Aid certifications, and on this page you will find a list of all available courses. You only need to take the Lay Responder, CPR, AED, and First Aid course in order to be certified as a safety officer. Each club must have a fully stocked first aid kit at every game, practice, scrimmage, and while traveling. The first aid kit and supplies are provided by Mason Rec. Safety officers are responsible for the first aid kit, ensuring that it is properly stocked and present at every club event. If you need to restock the first aid kit, contact the club sports office. Safety officers are responsible for knowing the location of AEDs during all club events. Permanent AEDs are available in the AFC, the RAC, and the field house. A portable AED is available in the field supervisor's truck at the West Campus fields. The field supervisor can be reached on their cell phone. The number is 571-335-6649. Make sure you add this number to your phone's contact list. When at off-campus events, make sure your club knows where the closest AED is before starting the activity. Safety officers are responsible for knowing the emergency action plan for club sports. They learn about this at one of their required trainings. If in doubt, a copy of the plan is also provided in your club's first aid kit. Anytime an ambulance or police are called to respond to an incident involving a club member, on or off campus, or anytime professional medical attention is given to a club member, the activity leader must contact the Assistant Director of Club Sports by phone as soon as it is safe to do so. This is just to inform them about the situation and to see if there is anything they can do to offer assistance. If there is no answer, the trip leader must also try to contact the Assistant Director of Competitive Sports. The cell phone numbers for both of these individuals are located on the Emergency Action Plan, which is located in every first aid kit. Over the last decade, more and more has been learned about the importance of properly managing the participation of a player with a suspected concussion, as well as that player's return to participation. As such, the Club Sports Office has implemented the following policies. Any club member who is suspected of having a concussion during a club sports activity must be removed from the activity immediately and remain out of action until further notice. The incident must be documented by the club's safety officer or by the athletic trainer, and the paperwork promptly turned into the Club Sports Office. The suspected head injury occurs at an activity with no athletic trainer present, such as an away game. The student athlete with the suspected head injury must also follow up with the Mason Club Sports athletic trainer as soon as possible. The individual must follow the return to play procedures outlined by the Club Sports athletic trainer. The steps the individual with the suspected concussion must follow can be found on our website. On the left-hand side of the page, you'll find concussion information. This page will have a variety of information about concussions and our return to play steps. It is also required that the individual with the suspected concussion completes the return to play clearance form, which can be printed off from our website. With concussion management in mind, Club Sports requires all members of high-risk clubs to complete a concussion baseline test. The list of high-risk clubs is listed on your screen. The baseline test is known as the impact test and must be completed prior to participating in any high-risk club activities. The test serves as a baseline that can be used as one of the tools an athletic trainer or physician uses to determine if a student athlete is ready to return to play following a suspected concussion. Baseline testing is available to all club sports participants, but is only required for those in high-risk sports. Impact test times can be found by going to the Club Sports website, then clicking on the Athletic Training tab, and finding Impact Testing on the Club Sports Athletic Trainers. Speaking of athletic training, Club Sports provides athletic training services through Select Physical Therapy. Athletic trainers are available for club home competitions, both on and off campus, and are on campus during most practice times. Club members may see the athletic trainer for treatment of club sports related injuries. There is no charge for on-campus treatments. As we just saw, the athletic training schedule can be found online through the Club Sports website. All club members must have valid medical insurance at all times while participating in club activities. This policy is to ensure that if a student athlete is injured while participating in a club sport activity, they are able to receive appropriate medical treatment in a way that least affects their ability to continue their education here at George Mason University. All club members must provide a physical every 365 days to the Club Sports Office. The physical must be completed by a registered physician and clear the participant for all athletic participation. For most student athletes, the physical must be submitted to the Club Sports Office prior to participating in any competition. However, for high-risk activities, the physical must be submitted prior to participating in any sport-related activity with the club. As many of our clubs take part in activities outdoors, the following policies and procedures have been adopted for severe weather. If severe weather approaches, the following procedures will help prevent injury and/or death. The weather will be monitored by the club safety officer or a coach that is outside of the activity. If thunder is heard or lightning or funnel clouds are seen, the activity must be immediately stopped. If you're on campus, follow the directions of the Mason Rec staff members. All participants must move to shelter. The best option is inside a building, away from the windows and doors. If there is not enough time to get indoors, seek shelter in a vehicle or, as a last resort, find the lowest lying area of ground in the area. If thunder is heard or lightning is seen, the club must wait at least 30 minutes after the last flash of lightning is seen or the last sound of thunder is heard before returning to the field or activity. Each time a new flash of lightning is seen or thunder is heard, the 30-minute count must start over. Additional information on this can be found in the Club Sports Manual. Please also remember, if the university is closed for any weather-related issues, all club activities are canceled unless explicit special permission to continue with the activity has been obtained from the Club Sports Office. Our final topic for this module is hazing. Simply put, recreation clubs must not participate in any type of hazing. So, what is hazing? Hazing can be any action or activities that do not contribute to the positive development of a person or an organization. They can be activities that cause mental or physical harm, or they can be activities that subject individuals to harassment, embarrassment, ridicule, or distress. Examples of situations that are considered hazing include, but are not limited to, tests of endurance, physical abuse, psychological abuse, morally degrading or humiliating activities, forced ingestion of any substance, including alcohol, activities that interfere with academic pursuits, or servitude. George Mason University and the Club Sports Office have a duty to investigate all hazing allegations. Individuals, and this includes the individuals who agree to be hazed, and organizations found in violation of the Mason hazing policy will be sanctioned by the Club Sports Program, by Mason Recreation, and by the Office of Student Conduct. Sanctions may include academic probation or suspension for individuals and termination of recognition of the club. The incident will also be turned over to the proper law enforcement agency. In Virginia, hazing is considered a Class 1 misdemeanor. Penalties can include up to 1 year in prison or a fine of up to $2,500. If you believe you have been a victim of hazing or know someone who has, contact the Club Sports Office at 703-993-5819 for assistance. You can also visit the Office of Student Support at studentsupport.gmu.edu. That concludes the risk management module of this training. Part 4, Dealing with Your Money, is up next.